What's up guys and welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I'm going to be discussing UFC Old-heads in every division that I'm rooting for to win in their next fight that I want to see back in the win column because, you know, Unk's just been out of the W column for too long. Unk's just been taking too many L's. We feel bad for him, and we want old man to just get a win and, you know, get back in the win column, you know, get back on track. And yeah, that's what I'm going to be talking about, whether it be guys that have fights booked right now that I want to win their next fight, or just guys in general that I want to see. Like, you might say, oh, what about this guy? He's 37 or 36. Like, this is really fighters that they might not be washed, all of them, but I think all of these guys will be coming off losses, and all of them will be on the older side and definitely veterans of the game. But yeah, let's start off with the bantamweight division because there's no one at flyweight that I care about because I don't care about Tim Elliott. Anyway, bantamweight, let's get started. Bantamweight division, Jose Aldo deserves a win. I don't want to have to see this guy go out and retire in his career coming off a robbery decision to Mario Bautista. Now, he did come back and he did fight Martinez and he got the win there, which was good. So Aldo's not like a guy who's on a massive loss streak. He's not a guy who looks washed that we're desperate to get a win. And I will clarify, I'm only going to be talking about guys in the rankings. I've made videos talking about, like, just fighters in general that I need to see get a win, like Volk and Tony Ferguson and stuff like that. Those guys aren't washed. Those guys aren't the guys that, Ferguson is. But I'm talking about ranked guys who are still kind of there, but are just needing a win. So yeah, Jose Aldo for bantamweight. I want to see this guy win. I thought he beat Bautista, but we need to see him retire in the right way. I think it's pretty clear he's not going to get to the belt at this point. I kind of don't even want him to. Like, if you could tell me Jose Aldo wins the belt guaranteed, but you have to fucking do this, I'm doing it. I don't care. I want to see Jose Aldo win the belt. But I don't want him to have to go through the path to get there because I don't think he's going to beat O'Malley. I don't think he would beat, like, Sandhagen. Maybe he could beat Sandhagen, but I don't know. I just want to see him get a nice win against, like, a Cejudo or a Dominic Cruz or a Rob Font in a rematch or something like this and just get a win, not take too much damage and just go out on top, maybe have a few more wins. But I would love it if Jose Aldo could go out on, like, a 2 or 3 fight win streak, which that would be great. But anyway, let's move on, though, to the featherweight division. Featherweight division, I want to see Edson Barboza get a win, bro, because it's just cool when Barboza wins. And when he wins, it's usually in a cool way. And he does some cool shit like he did against Quarantillo, where he knees him in the fucking dome. Like, that's what I want to see. He lost to Lerone Murphy. Not a terrible loss. He's not had any losses where I'm like, damn, this dude sucks. But the Lerone Murphy fight, he just didn't look good. He looked old. He got jabbed up way too easily, and he never really looked in the fight. So I want to see us get prime. We're not going to get prime Barboza back, but give me, like, semi-prime. Give me, like, vintage Barboza. Going, throwing the wheel kicks, throwing the fucking, like, spamming body kicks, doing all the cool shit, jumping knees, all of that. Give me that Barboza back against a non-wrestler, against someone who's not just going to jab him up. No Gene Silva fight, no Steve Garcia fight, no, nothing like that. But just give me an Edson Barboza versus, like, a fucking Cub Swanson fight, honestly. Give me a Barboza versus, like, Andre Feely. I don't care. Like, anyone unranked, who is a winnable fight without much power and without wrestling, that Barboza can just tune up and have a good fight and look good against. That's what I want, in front of a crowd. Get this guy out of the fucking Apex. It's a disgrace to have him in the Apex. But yeah, get Barboza in the Apex on a fight night or a pay-per-view prelims, and give him a fun matchup outside the rankings, striker who's not going to just jab him up. That's what I want. I want to see Barboza get a win. Because it's just cool when Barboza gets a fucking flying knee KO. Like, even if you're not a massive Barboza fan. Like, I've never been, like, a top-tier Barboza fan. Like, he's never been one of my favourite fighters. But he's always just been a guy that I'm like, I'm happy to see him win. So, yeah, I want to see Barboza get a W. Let's move on, though, to the lightweight division. Now, I know he's not really a lightweight anymore, and I think they should take him out of the lightweight rankings. But Rafael dos Anjos is really the only guy who I consider an old head at lightweight that I'm rooting for, I guess, to get a win. I'm not, like, a massive RDA fan, but I don't think anyone, like, dislikes RDA. I was thinking of putting Beneil Dariush because he's kind of reached old head status in terms of, like, where we view him, but he's not that old, I don't think. Like, I think he's, like, 34, 35. But RDA is definitely old. He's, like, 40. You're 40 years of age, mate. Just your fucking head. What are you doing with a school bag on stage? You can't even read. But RDA, I want to see him get a win. Look, would I mind, because I don't think Conor's going to come back, but would I mind a Conor McGregor RDA fight? No. I actually think that's not bad. So if RDA if RDA loses that, I won't be fucking heartbroken. But if he's going to keep fighting, don't give him like a fucking, I don't know, don't give him a Joel Alvarez fight next. Don't give him a fucking, like, Esteban Ribovic fight. Like, give him some older guy. Give him fucking Jim Miller if he beats Damon Jackson. I don't fucking care. RDA's not even, like, ranked caliber at this stage. Like, he's solid, but he just looks old. He just got smoked and lost his fucking kneecap, or lost his ACL against Jeff Neal. Don't give him top, like, 10 fights at fucking welterweight either. If you're going to give him welterweight fights, give him fucking Nico Price or some shit. Give him the older guys. Give him the legends. Don't do the up-and-comers. Don't do the guys that have power. Don't do the guys that are going to beat him up or out-wrestle him. Just give him easy fights. Or, if he is going to get a hard-ish fight, I don't even think Conor's that hard at this stage in his career. Pause. But I don't think it's that difficult of a test. But if you're going to give him like a guy who could KO him, at least let it be Conor, and at least let him get that payday, because he does deserve it, and he was meant to fight Conor. So, I don't know if Conor would come back for an RDA who's 40 years old. I think the UFC probably wouldn't do that either. They probably want to chuck Conor right in there with like a top 10 guy. But I actually think it's not. If Conor's going to come back, and it's a big if, give him RDA, and if he beats RDA, then you run him straight into a fucking Poirier fight or a Oliveira fight or something like that. Then you can do that. But in the meantime, don't be giving this guy, don't run him straight in there with like, I don't know, Justin Gaethje. Like, that's just going to go badly for him. Or even Dan Hooker, I think, would smoke him at this stage. But yeah, we're not talking about Conor, we're talking about RDA. I want to see him get a win. I think everyone can agree. Let's move on, though, to the welterweight division. First guy at welterweight to talk about, Stephen Thompson. He just got KO'd by Buckley, and that's tough. And Thompson's just a nice guy. I don't think anyone is like, I don't think there's many people that would have Stephen Thompson as like their top 10 favorite fighters. But I think no one would have him in like their top 10 least favorite fighters. And no one, I think, like is actively rooting for Thompson to lose unless they really like the guy that he's fighting. But I think when Thompson lost by KO to Buckley, I think everyone was a bit down, a bit upset. It was a tough loss. And Wonderboy, that's a 2-fight losing streak. Before that, he did beat up Holland. But give him fighters who are going to stand, right? I know Buckley stood for a lot of it. But give him guys who are going to stand without crazy power that might catch him. And it doesn't need to be top fucking 10 guys. We're past that with Wonderboy. If you're going to give him a higher ranked guy, make it like an easier fight. Give him I wouldn't mind a Jeff Neal rematch. That would probably be justifiable. But, yeah. Other than that, give him like the winner of fucking Luque and Diaz. I don't know. Who cares? But just, I don't want to see this guy in really tough fights. No more wrestlers. No one who's going to take him down. Don't give him Carlos Prates next because he might die. But yeah, I want to see Wonderboy get back in the win because I don't think he's got much longer left in his career. I think he's going to retire pretty soon. So I'd like to see him get a W before he does that. Anyway, let's move on though to the next fighter. Next up, Gilbert Burns, another former favorite fighter of mine. Gilbert Burns used to be like a top 5 favorite fighter of mine. I know you can say switch up. I still love Gilbert Burns, but when guys get past that stage where it's like they're in really big fights, they're close to the title, it makes you root for them more. Like, I loved Diego Lopez straight away. As soon as he fought Movs, I'm like, I love this dude. But as he kept getting wins, and then once he was fighting like Sadiq Youssef, I was more hyped up for that win. And then once he fought Ego, I was even more hyped up for that. And then once he fought Ortega, I was like super hyped up for that. Like, you get more hyped for guys' fights and you get more invested in their career as they get closer to a belt. I think that's a natural thing. And if a guy kind of falls away from the title picture, loses, kind of doesn't look the same as they did, you still like them, but you're not like attached to them quite as much. I think it's the same thing with Ferguson. I think it's the same thing with Tuivasa. Same thing with a lot of these guys. But Gilbert Burns, I'm still a big Dorino fan. I still want to see this guy back in the win column. I still want to see this guy get a W. Bedtime's been disrespecting my boy Gilbert. He's acting like people like can't discredit Colby because they like Gilbert Burns. Like, I don't know. I feel like Bedtime's got like a weird issue with Gilbert Burns. But I like Gilbert Burns. He's sick. He's a cool fighter. Took Hamzat to a great scrap. And since then, he's just looked a bit past it. Subbed Magny. Just beat Masvidal, and then took that short notice fight against Bilal when he was clearly not physically fucking in the right shape to take that because he just fought and he was being way too active, and he lost, and he took ages off because he injured himself, and then lost to JDM, and he lost to Sean Beatty. So he's on a 3-fight loss streak. I want to see my guy Gilbert Burns get back in the win column, and that'll make me very happy. Let's move on though to another fighter. Kamaru Osman. They can't even spell their name right. Osman, a little Malteser head. Bald little Malteser head. Kamaru Osman. I want to see Usman get a win, bro, because, like, I'm not even, like, a massive Kamaru Usman fan. Like, he's not even one of my top, like, 10, 20 favorite fighters. Like, I'm not even, like, that emotionally invested in any of his fights. But it's just kind of the respect thing. Like, he's done his work. He's paid his dues, you know. He's grinded his knees to fucking dust for us. He's had some great fights. You know, he's had some stinky fights, but he's had a great career and he's had a great championship run. And I'm doing a GOAT list soon, trust me, guys. This shit has been in the works since fucking July. And then I said I'm going to push it back until after the Izzy Duplessis fight, because I said that would change, the result of that would change what I was doing with it. And then I was like, all right, let me chill for a bit. And I kind of just forgot about it. And then I was like, then Marab won, and I was like, eh. And then when Pereira got booked to fight Roundtree, I was like, I might wait until then. And then at that point, I'm like, I'll wait till Holloway-Ilya. And so I wait till Holloway-Ilya. And then I'm like, I'll just wait till Jones-Stipe. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Do I wait until Jones-Stipe, or do I just get it out the way? Because I'm also contemplating how many fighters to do it. Because originally I was doing 15. And I was just internally debating as I was doing. I was like, I don't know who am I putting here? I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm like, I want to give everyone a mention. I want to give all the guys that deserve a mention. So I was thinking top 20, and then even that, I was like, let me just go top 25. And at this stage, I'm probably going to do top 30. So you guys, you can expect a top 30 greatest UFC fighters of all time video coming shortly. I don't know whether to wait until after Jones-Stipe, because once Jones-Stipe happened, I'm not waiting until fucking Shavkat and Usman or whatever. That's not happening. But once Jones and Stipe happens, that I might do it then. I might do it before then. Let me know in the comments what I should do. But Usman, I'll talk about him. He's definitely in the list. He's definitely top 15. He's had a great career. I think a lot of people forget some of his pre-championship wins as well. RDA, Sean Strickland, Damian Maia, Leon Edwards even. I know he lost to him twice, but Usman with knees, you know, he clears Leon. Smoked Woodley as well for the belt. Dominated him. Like, this guy's had a crazy career, but 3-fight loss streak, 2 losses to Leon. We know how it goes. I don't have to recap them for you. And then the Hamzat fight, which I thought was very close and arguably a draw, if not a 2-1 Usman win, if you don't think the first was a 10-8. But it's reasonable to give it a 10-8. But I want to just see Usman get a win. If this guy fights Shavkat, I know everyone's going to be rooting for Shavkat, and I know Shavkat winning is better for the division, but I low-key wouldn't mind Usman going in there and just pushing a pace on Shavkat in the later rounds because Shavkat can't finish him, and just getting a UD win. Fucking 48-47, grinding it out. Crafty vet performance. I kind of wouldn't mind that. If he fought like JDM, I'd probably be rooting for JDM as my fellow Australian. If he fought Ian Gary, I'd definitely be rooting for Usman, I'll be honest. If he fought Bilal, I'd be rooting for Usman, just because I'm sorry, Bilal just annoys me. For no reason. I'll admit it. People say you hate for no reason. I'm like, yes, you're completely correct. I have no valid reason to hate Bilal. But, yeah, I just want to see my guy Usman get a win, you know? Malteser head. Anyway, let's move on to the next fighter. Middleweight, Jared Cannonier is really the only old fighter, I would say, that I'm, like, rooting for. Like, Whittaker's not old. Izzy, I don't even like him, and he's not even old. I could say Jack Hermansson, but he's coming off a win. All of the guys that I'm including here are guys coming off losses. So that's kind of the premise of the video. But Jared Cannonier, he's had a tough run of things. I think he's this 2 or 3 losses in a row. I think it's 2, because he fought Vittori, and then he came back and against a Mavov. Kind of a rough stoppage with the early TKO loss, and then he fought Borrello, got beaten up pretty bad. So this guy's lost to Mavov, Borrello, the 2 up-and-comers at middleweight. I want to see this guy get a Costa fight. I want to see this guy get like a Dolidze fight. See this guy get a Hermansson fight. Someone who he's fought a Hermansson already. But just someone who he can beat. I'm not desperate to see a Cannonier win. Like, my mental health is not reliant on Cannonier getting a win. If he loses his next fight, I'm not going to be upset, but I'll be like, damn, that's kind of tough for Cannonier. And he'll probably retire after that or get cut. He probably won't get cut, but he'll probably retire, or they'll just keep feeding him to prospects. Like, could you not see him lose to, like, I don't know, Fluffy Hernandez? They're going to give him Fluffy Hernandez next 100% Apex main event. That'll happen. And then they're going to give him fucking Joe Pyfer or some bullshit. Like, or Bo Nickel. That'll happen. But yeah, I want to see Cannonier get a win. Anyway, let's move on though to the light heavyweight division. Light heavyweight, Jan Blachowicz is the obvious one here. He's 41 years of age, I'm pretty sure, and he's just been out for a while. You know, he beat Rakic, right? Beat Rakic, then fought Ankalaev for the vacant belt, and then he almost won that fight. Like, he was winning that fight, and I think if I thought he won 3 rounds. I thought it was 3-2, and then obviously the fifth was a 10-8. But like, if he could have just avoided kind of getting dominated a bit in the fifth, you know, he takes that shit in my opinion. And I think Ankalaev in a 3-rounder doesn't beat Blachowicz in my opinion. Maybe at this stage he would, but obviously if that fight was 3 rounds on those scorecards, he would have won. But then after that, you know, it takes a while off, and then I think it was the Pereira fight after that, unless I'm retarded. What was that? He fought 282. I think, yeah, it was the Pereira fight. He came back for Pereira. Close fight again. He's a back-to-back close fights. He hasn't lost badly, that's the thing. Apart from the Glover loss, like we haven't seen a bad loss of Blachowicz recently. But he was competitive as fuck with Pereira, and that kind of makes me want to see him get a win. Because I kind of want to see him get back to a title shot. Like, if he beats Khalil Roundtree, or if he beats, like, the winner of Ozdemir and Olberg, or someone like that, because we're pretty convinced that Jamal Hill's fighting Geary, so I don't know who he's going to fight. Maybe the winner of Krylov and Mirzakhanov. But if he beats one of those guys, you could just run him a title fight. Like, Ankalaev Pereira, hopefully that happens. I'm not going to do a video about Bilal, it's a bit too late now. I was going to, timing didn't work out. I had a bit on today. I had a fucking year 12 general maths exam, which I had to do, so wish me a good score on that. Hopefully I did well. My entire career is riding on it. But, yeah, and then I had work afterwards, so I didn't really get time to do it in, like, the valid time frame. So no Bilal video. I'll do a video once the replacement main event gets announced, though. But, yeah, Blachowicz, if we see Pereira Ankalaev at 310, which I doubt, but it could happen, honestly. If we see that at 310, Pereira wins, we see Ozdemir and Olberg, and then we see Mirzakhanov and Krylov. I wouldn't mind Blachowicz versus the winner of one of those fights, or the winner of Yuri and Prohaska. And if he wins that, I wouldn't mind if he's coming off a win streak, if he's coming off one win, given how close the fight was with Pereira. I'm recording this at like 1 a.m. by the way. I can't speak properly. But yeah, if he could, with how close that fight was, he could just get a title shot, and I wouldn't mind it. And I kind of want to see it, just in case he wins it back, because that would be pretty crazy if Blachowicz was able to win the belt back at 2 years of age, or how old he would be at the time. Anyway, let's move on though to the heavyweight division, the last fighter to discuss. Good old Stipe Miocic. Stipe Miocic. I want Stipe to win against Jon Jones very much. Now, I'm not a massive Stipe fan. I like Stipe. I think he's one of the more underrated guys on the GOAT list. Lucas Tracy had him at number 15. I think that's a fucking criminal take. To have Stipe at number 15, but Merab at number 13. I think that is just ridiculous. I'm sorry, Lucas. I know you love your changing of the GOAT list. You know, he changes his GOAT lists up more than fucking, I don't know, I can't think of a joke. But he changes his GOAT list up at the drop of a hat. Like, I swear, like, we'll see, like, 2 of the guys in the top 15 win a fight, and then immediately the entire thing just shifts around. It's not like, oh, both of those guys jump up one place. No, we see the entire thing shift around. 6 months ago, he had fucking DJ at number 3, and then he just changes. Like, nah, you know what? I don't think he's really number 3. I'm gonna put him number 12. So very interesting stuff there with Lucas's GOAT list. I'll talk about that more when I do my own, because I have been working on it for quite a while, before Lucas released his latest one. But Stipe, it would just be so funny if he just goes out there and beats Jones, especially by TKO, and we need a camera on Dana White the entire time, because we need to know how much of this is an act and how much of this Dana White actually is, like, genuinely in love with Jones. Because if we see Stipe drop Jones and Dana White puts his fucking hands on his head and, like, covers his eyes and looks away, we'll know that he's not just playing along with the joke, and that he is actually genuinely a gay lover of Jon Jones. So that's what I want. I want to see Stipe win the belt back, because it would just be funny as fuck. And also, Jones has no intention of fighting again. He's a duck. He's a coward. So at least let the old man beat him. But yeah, that'll do it, guys. Like, subscribe, follow my Instagram, Left Lane MMA. Drop some more videos you guys want to see in the comments. Drop some more drop some placements and stuff with the GOAT list so I can see what you guys are thinking, so I know what to do with my own. I mean, I'm going to do my own takes regardless, but I want to know just in case I'm forgetting anyone. But yeah, peace out, guys. See you in the next one.